Hey, end of the blue waves. I'm actually not going to load that right now. We can just load that later. Let's take a look at the gallery while I talk about the game, maybe. That could be nice. Image gallery? Ooh, dude, we can go to one of, like, an image here. Sure, let's be on Donna. Really nice. This is really nice. What was I saying? I also have something to ask chat. Someone told me there was endings. Different endings to the game. So, how many endings are there? Because I finished the game. And how would they have changed if I didn't get the true ending? Because I'm pretty sure I saw Raptor in chat said I got the true ending. So how would the other endings change? While I talk about stuff, you guys can answer these questions. It's sad, but I like how they pulled it off. They defied something that cannot be defied. This is what happens. Yeah, that goes into the story of what I want to talk about. But that goes into Donna's character. Because Donna, as a character, is really nice. Like, how she, like, you know, defies fate and everything. Like, how she doesn't want this and tries to fight against it. Never loses hope. So, again, that just goes into the story. I think the story's well done. I need to talk about the game, though, because, like, I need to end stream. But I don't want to rush the review. I want to talk about the game. But I also have to do it. This game's combat is great. I love the combat of this game. Really, really fun. Basically like Ys 9. I love Ys 9's combat, and Ys 9 is also a really good game. I'll talk about that as well. This game's combat is also great. They're basically the same combat. Their combat's similar, so I don't really have a preferred, although Ys 9 has gifts. This game didn't have gifts, but it was still really fun. I enjoyed it. Music is phenomenal. Ys is quickly becoming one of my favorite OSTs of... I'm just gonna do this so we get some imagery. Ys is quickly becoming, like, one of my favorite OSTs in general. Ys 8 and 9 combined, they both have great soundtracks. I do like Ys 8's soundtrack more because it's got a few more iconic tracks. Ys 9 has, like, Evan Maka, Glessing Way, Norse Wind, some good tracks, and Judgment Time, which is Shadowlord's theme. Those are all good tracks, but 9 has a lot more not 9. 8 has a lot more memorable ones. IMO. Both are good, though. What else? What else? I should actually talk about what I didn't like about the game, because there's a lot about this game I like, but there's some stuff I didn't like. There's a few shortcomings I want to talk about. So, let me actually talk about that. I kind of wish Nameless lasted a little longer in the game. I felt like, Nameless was a cool concept for an early antagonist to kind of get the game rolling before all the heavy Primordial stuff. So, and you're probably like, oh, Nova, like, the game can't be super long. You want a longer game. So, the game's story is good. I like the game's plot, the stuff with the Primordials, stuff with the Eternians, stuff with the Lacrimosa, the whole Warden, the selection rejection. All the plot elements are great, and they utilize Past Donna really well. I love the plot of this game. I basically have no problems with the plot. My one problem with the plot, it's not really a problem, but they can trim down so many times. Like, they kind of hype up some moments. There are some moments in this game that are like, oh, you gotta go here. You're gonna learn so much about Primordials and everything. Like, I think it was Baja Tower or something, and then, like, you come back from, like, an event of the game, and you're like, wow, I didn't learn that much. The game hyped me up that I was gonna learn a lot about the characters, not characters, but the lore and the story, and I really didn't. So, it's a really minor thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the story has a bit of a slow wind-up, but they could have easily cut down that wind-up to add more time for Nameless. I think Nameless was a neat concept, because the game's theme in the very beginning was about castaways. And, like, trying to find all the survivors, trying to band together, cooperate with each other, which Carlin was the only one that didn't want to cooperate. And it's kind of normal to have one castaway not want to cooperate, and I didn't like Carlin. So, that was really nice. How the game heavy focused on the fact of you're surviving on this island. Like, what would you do if you're stranded? That was a nice idea, and I think it was a neat idea to have Nameless, like, one person who didn't want to cooperate and was just killing people for, like, survival, basically, or whatever Kiergaard's motivations were. He barely had any. So, I think Kiergaard was neat, not as a character, but as a concept. The whole Nameless thing. I think they just ended it too fast. It lasted, like, what, 2 to 3 hours in-game time? It came at the end of Chapter 2, and it lasted for the end of Chapter 2. I kind of wish it was like, maybe not its own chapter, but basically its own chapter. I wish it was close to its own chapter. They could have cut down on the time, like, the build-up to learning stuff about Primordials to add more Nameless time. That would have been nice. So that's one problem I have with the game. There's one boss in the Sanctuary Crypt I didn't like, but I talked about that. I'm not going to go over that again. And then the late game Primordials. I think some of the late game Primordials are really annoying when they knock you down with their roar attacks and they paralyze you. And it got annoying to fight them. And this goes into my last complaint. There are quite a few status ailments in this game that are mad annoying. Paralysis, darkness. There's one more I'm thinking of. I can't think of it. Paralysis, darkness, burn's not that bad. Paralysis and darkness are like the worst. Every time a boss uses those or an enemy uses those, it's just not fun. So, yeah. Those are my three, like, complaints with the game, like, I didn't like. Other stuff I might say some half and half, like, there might be some good, might be some bad. I'm gonna read this stuff in chat really quick. There's a lot in chat I want to read. I'm already over time. I don't really care how long this goes. Sad endings don't bother me. Honestly, I prefer them. Klonoa. Oh, Klonoa 2 does have a sad ending. I mean, no, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying every game should have a happy ending. That you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that every game should have a happy ending. Some games, it makes sense to have a sad ending. I get it. Yeah, this game was not going to be a happy ending from the start. But, like, that doesn't mean I prefer them. I prefer happy endings. I still rather have a happy ending, but that's not a knock on the game. I'm not going to say a game's sad ending is like, I'm not going to say it sucks because I don't like it. It was executed well, I just prefer happy endings. I think I said this with Klonoa 2, where, like, it was a sad ending done well, where Klonoa accepted and, like, said his goodbyes and everything. I might have said that in Klonoa 2, but that playthrough was a few months ago. What's this about endings? There are arts of Maya and stuff? Oh, really? What do you mean? I can go see that. Oh, hey! Maya! Earth Goddess Maya! Look at that. Look at that. We barely saw this character, so I don't mind looking at this for a bit. Bad and good ending have Theos as their final boss. I can't remember where the other endings fully end. I'll try. The bad endings if you have less than 75 reputation. Alright, I don't really care about the reputation amount. I just ask what happens. Oh, so the bad ending doesn't let you talk to Maya. The good ending lets you talk to Maya, but there's no dungeon. You don't get to see Donna again? Oh, dude, I'm glad I got the true ending. I would have hated the ending. I would have hated it if I didn't get to see Donna again. Alright, well, that clarifies that up. Okay, so I talked about the music. I think I like Ys 8's music more. The combat is basically tied. If you were to really put a gun to my head, I would say 9 because of the gifts, but that doesn't mean 8's is bad. I like 8's combat. 8 has better raids. I think Ys 8's raids are better than 9. 9's raids were a little chaotic. 8's were good until the end game. I feel like that last hunt wasn't fun. What else? What else? The story. The story in this game is phenomenal. Again, I wish Nameless lasted longer, but other than that, I've got no complaints. I think the Primordial stuff was well. Past Donna was utilized really, really well. Seeing Donna learn about Eternia's history, seeing Donna, like, wanting to change the fate of Eternia, even though she knew it was going to be destroyed. Her character arc is really good. The game heavy focuses on Donna. It does well with that. And just the plot overall, the lore is really nice, and just this one island that no one knows about. And another thing about the story, it's not so much the story, it kind of goes into the characters. I'll bleed it to the characters. The castaways. The idea of castaways is really nice. It's a nice theme of, like, everyone trying to work, not everyone, but the majority of people trying to work together to get off this island, and, like, it's, like, the way you get your resources, the setting of the game, it was really, really good. I liked the setting of the game. The island was fun to explore. And that's definitely what I liked more than 9. I like this game's setting a lot more than Ys 9. I'm not about to say Ys 9 sucks, but Ys 8 had more varied locations despite, like, it was on one island. While 9 was mostly in Balduke and you had some areas that stemmed out, and while they weren't awful, I think 8 had the better environments. So that was definitely fun. Oh my word. The characters. I'm gonna talk about the characters and then I'll, like, kind of wrap this up. So, Donna is really good. The game heavy focuses on Donna, which is really nice. They do Donna really well. And the others are just, like, good. like, I don't like Sahad, actually. So Sahad's not good. I just don't really care for Sahad. His joke, like, not jokes, but, like, his little gags and comments sometimes just make me want to die. And, so, I just don't like Sahad, like, period. If you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. I just don't like Sahad. Like, I didn't like him, then he was fine, and then he never really went anywhere, and then, like, he kept making those comments, and I'm like, I don't like Sahad. So, you know, I don't like Sahad. Hummel, Rakoda, and Loxia are good. I feel like Hummel doesn't really get much screen time. I wish they did more with Hummel. I'm really disappointed because Hummel seemed like a really cool character, but they never really went anywhere with his character. All you know about him is that he's a transporter, and then his Max Affinity event talked about, like, him being in, like, an orphanage and a circus, so they kind of dumped his backstory in you, like, in the Affinity scene. And they really didn't do much with Hummel, which is unfortunate. But, so, unfortunately, Hummel's my second least favorite because they didn't give him much screen time. And then Loxia and Rakoda are kind of just tied. I think they use Rakoda really well to, like, be, like, the character that hasn't been outside the island and they want to expand her worldview. That was really nice. And she's just really nice. Like, she's a nice character. Like, obviously she's nice. She's a neat character. I think they do her well. And Loxia grew on me at the end. I liked Loxia's whole, like, oh, she likes, like, she's learning to be okay with people, and she was really unlikable in the beginning. Loxia had neat character development, but the game just, like, it heavy focuses on Donna, which, again, is good. Donna is a great character. But, it doesn't do much with the others. Like, it gives them, like, a base character, kind of works on their storyline a little bit, but not much further than that. They don't go super deep on the characters in this game compared other than Donna. So that's a little unfortunate. But were the characters bad? No, the characters were good. I liked the characters. They're likable. They're like two-dimensional at least. They got their likes, they got their dislikes. They get along as a group really well. I think the characters are really not really good. I think they're good. They're a good cast. I talk about games needing a good cast to carry them. This is a good enough cast to carry this amazing story. Now, a game that I talk about, Scarlet Nexus's characters were so forgettable. These characters are not forgettable. I'm gonna remember Loxia, Rakoda, Hummel. If someone asked me, what'd you think of VIII's cast, I'd be like, they were good. They're not my favorite cast of all time, but they were good. They were enjoyable. I'm gonna remember this cast, unlike Scarlet Nexus, who I've forgotten half of their names. So, this cast is good. And they do well at the story. And something else I wish is that the castaways just got more. Like, the castaways had base motivations, kind of like, less so than the main cast. And they didn't really do much with the castaways. I wish they got side quests that expanded them. They did have side quests, but I wish their side quests expand on them like Ys 9. So, bottom line, I like Ys 9's cast more. Ys 9 did so well at developing its cast and having their own character arcs. Ys 9 basically has multiple Donnas. The amount of attention Donna gets in this game, right? The amount of attention Donna gets in this game is equivalent, give or take, to basically every character in 9. I think I remember Yufa not getting quite as much attention. She, like, had an arc, but she didn't really get as much attention. And Credo's arc felt a little rushed at the end, but they still got good enough attention. So, at least most of the characters of Ys 9 got about the same level of attention in 8. What am I saying? The characters in 9 basically got the same level of attention as Donna in 8. And I think this comes down to personal preference. If you don't really care about a cast of characters getting focused, then you'll like 8. But, if you really love character-driven stuff, if you're like, oh, characters have to be amazing, then, you know, 8 doesn't do as well with it. They do well with Donna, but that's about it. So, you know, I just think 9 is the better characters, and this all comes down to personal preference. I don't think there's any wrong or right answer. I like 9's cast more, because I prioritize character-driven narratives when all the characters are focused on, and this game focuses on Donna, and the others are kind of just like, they're good, but they're not like, they don't elevate to great, you know? So, yeah, that's my opinion. I didn't want to say anything about Reputation until the ending since you got the best ending by doing everything. Oh, so Reputation's the ending. Everything wasn't gray like in 9? Okay. 9 didn't have terrible locations, but I don't know what you mean by everything was gray. There were grass fields. Did it have as many varied locations as 8? No, not even close, but... yeah, okay. Don't mind the times Sahad said crap or whatever. Good for you. Look, I'm not trying to, like... agree to disagree, I guess. Like, you're welcome to that opinion, that's fine, but I just didn't like Sahad. I didn't, so, you know, just deal with that. But, overall, it was a good game. The only characters I didn't like in the game, let's talk about the characters I didn't like. Sahad and Carlin, basically. I didn't like Sahad and Carlin, and everyone else was like... the castaways were... some of them were like fine, some were good. They were more fine, but again, their dynamic as a group was what I really loved, not so much the characters themselves. But other than Carlin and Sahad, everyone was at least fine to good. And Donna was amazing. And even Olga and Sarai were neat as characters in Donna's era. So, where does this stand? I know I'm making this longer, but I did say I would compare 9 and 8 at the end of this playthrough. So, story in this game, I like Ys8's story more. Ys8 has a lot more interesting lore than 9. 9's story takes a while to get going, but it has better characters. So, I don't know. I really like 9's story. I think 9's story is good, but I'm more into 9 for the characters. The characters in 9 are amazing, so they kind of just make the story like, oh, the story's not amazing in 9. But the characters are so good. So, you know. I think 9's story is good. I don't think it's great, but I love the cast. This game's story is great, and the characters are good. Kind of see the little flip-flop I did there? The story in this game is great. The cast of 9 is great. But then the story in 9 is good, and then the characters in this game are good, because Donna's really good, but the others are, like, not as focused. Oh my word, my throat is starting to hurt, but I want to get this out there. Yeah, disconnected, whatever. Okay, can I go to another character? Oh, it's Io. Who am I going to while I talk? Luminous! Yeah, Luminous is nice art. Alright. But, what was I saying? Oh! Yeah, chat, you're bringing up a good point. Overall, how much of 10 would you rate this game? That is interesting, because I'm going to give you an answer to that question. I'm also going to elaborate on that question. So, when I was, like, as I was getting closer to the end of the game, maybe like the 40-hour mark, I was like, oh, whoa, Ys8 is amazing. The story's good. It's going in places I love. The direction it's going, the twists and turns, the twist with the Great Tree. I think it's when the twist with the Great Tree happened. That's when I was like, yo, this game could be, like, in my top 10 games of all time. But I didn't want to say it that soon because I'm like, you never know, a story can fall on its face. So, I finished the game, and I think this game is in my top 10 of all time. So, your question, what would I rate this game out of 10? Anywhere from an 8 to a 9, probably. I would say an 8 to a 9. No more than, no, probably like an 8 to an 8.5. 9 feels too high. I would say an 8.5 out of 10, probably. This is a really good game. It does very little wrong. Let me see it here. My number 1 to 10s, in order, as I say a lot. Grandia 1, FF7 Remake. No, backwards. Grandia, Tales of Graces, FF7 Remake. Those are my top 3. Number 4 is Berseria. Number 5 is the FF10 duology. Number 6 is Grandia 2. Number 7 is Dragon Quest 11. I don't think I quite like this game more than those. This would probably be like a solid 8 or 9. Maybe. I have to sit on it, you know? I have to do the post-game, maybe replay the game on Nightmare Mode, get the Platinum Trophy. This is it's probably like my number 8 to 10. Probably. Because, you know. Maybe I give it a 9. I don't know, dude. I'm not really good at ranking games. Because I give Grandia 1, Graces, and FF7 Remake a 9.5. I have to do this rundown. I would give Berseria and FF10 Duology a 9 out of 10. So, yeah, I think an 8.5 to a 9. Maybe a 9 on a good day. I'll give it a 9. Anywhere from an 8.5 to a 9. 8.5 is like the lowest it'll go. But this game might be like anywhere from my 7th. Probably not my 7th. I like Dragon Quest XI more because the characters are better. Anywhere from my 8th to 10th favorite game of all time. Which is really good. Like, the fact that I made it in my top 10 means it's that good. I love my top 10s, so this game making it into it is a big deal. I don't know. I had to compete this game with Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise is my number 8, so I don't know if I like this game more than Arise or not. We'll see. Because, again, this game had the better... This game's story is better than Dragon Quest XI, Tales of Arise... But the characters are better. I like the characters more in Dragon Quest XI, Tales of Arise. It's hard. Point is, this is like a solid like 8th to 10th favorite game of all time. I agree, it is an unforgettable adventure. But, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I forgot about this. There's one more like small nitpick I have with the game. It's kind of like, I said this with Dragon Quest XI too, but I'll say it again with this game. I'm not a big fan of silent protagonists. I've gone on record to say I'm not a big fan of silent protagonists, and I wouldn't mind so much. While Dragon Quest XI has the problem of heavy focusing on the Luminary, who is a silent protagonist, so you can imagine how the story's portrayed, it feels really stilted. This game doesn't focus on at all. It focuses on Donna, and it focuses on the Primordials and the island. This game doesn't hard focus at all, so it's not as jarring, but there was like a scene or two where Donna was talking to Adol. Like a heart-to-heart moment where Donna was talking to Adol. And the fact that Adol is a silent protagonist, it's kind of hard to feel that bond. I kind of wish, like, it's kind of hard to feel that bond between Adol and Donna because of Adol being a silent protagonist. So, that's a little unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. But, it's like what I said with Dragon Quest XI. The Luminary being silent, it's worse in Dragon Quest XI though, because the story focuses on the Luminary, and it's kind of like, that's a Dragon Quest XI story, I'm not going to go into it. But, both games have silent protagonists. Dragon Quest XI's problem is the story heavy focusing the Luminary. This game, it's not the story that's focusing the Adol, it's Donna's relationship with Adol. It would have been better if Adol was a fully voiced character, I'm just going to say it. Because it's hard to get invested in the moment of being like, oh, Donna and Adol have this deep connection when Adol is a silent protagonist. But yeah. Oh, and Raptor saying VAs is actually reminding me, another small nitpick, the voices in this game are really quiet, and it kind of takes me out of the immersion a little bit. I know I'm nitpicking, but this game was so phenomenal, and when you have a game this good, you tend to look at nitpicks, but the nitpicks don't affect you. Like, they don't affect the game. The voices were quiet. Sometimes unhearable, and it takes you out of the moment. A small nitpick, but it annoyed me. So, yeah. I think I'm done. Ease 8 is great. I like this game more than 9. I like 9's cast more, and the gameplay with the gifts is fun. But, overall, I love these 8. Its characters were good enough. Its characters weren't the best in gaming, but I liked the cast enough that the game was fun. It was a ton of fun to play. It was fun to explore. The story was really captivating and really nice. I liked the way it was told. Really nice. Even with its few shortcomings, Ease 8 was just a masterpiece in every sense of the word. So, I don't know. My number 7 is Dragon Quest XI. This might beat out Tales of Arise. This definitely beats out Arc the Lad 2. Definitely beats out Arc the Lad 2. This might beat out Tales of Arise? I don't know, I have to think about it. Maybe not, though, because it's hard. I have to think about it. But point is, this is in my top 10. Just made it to my top 10s. I think Ease 9 would be outside my top 10s, because I did really like Ease 9, but I like this one a lot more. Maybe not a lot more, but I like it more. It's a clear winner. I like 8 more than 9. But, yeah, there you go. Ease 8 is done. Not really. We got one stream for the post-game. I think if Adol interacted with the others, it would have been better, which would be done by speaking back. Yeah, I agree. Again, silent protagonists, they're still a thing in some games. I just don't like them. And I try not to let one ruin my opinion of a game, but when the game heavy focuses on the character, And when a game heavy focuses on plot, like Dragon Quest XI, it sucks to have a silent protagonist. So, I try to not let that affect my opinion of the game, as sometimes it's just hard. But overall, the main story of VIII is done. Words. Dude, my throat is starting to hurt. Because I should not have streamed for 6 hours, but I wanted to finish the game. And I am kind of sick. But, thank goodness I'm not streaming tomorrow. Story is done for VIII. All we have left to do is do a raid. There's a new raid for us, and then there's the post-game dungeon. So, that'll probably be done in one stream, hopefully, and I could just get this playthrough done. I'm like a little less than 2 weeks away from Elysium, so it's just in time. But those of you watching, if you're done with VIII, I know people like to stop watching playthroughs at the main story, and if you are, I'm glad you hopefully enjoyed this game. This game was amazing, phenomenal. Or if you're going to stick around for post-game, then I hope to see you there. Wednesday will be the final VIII stream for people in chat wondering, so great game. I'm just so astounded. This game was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you at least got an ounce of enjoyment as I did, because I certainly got a lot, so that would be a lot. But, I'm saying a lot so many times, but great game. Really enjoyed it. No stream tomorrow. I'll do FF6 on Monday. Tuesday will be Monster Hunter. Wednesday should be the final VIII stream. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.